Hi, Nate Streeter, Paperboy Printing and Distribution, Street Smart Marketing. Just wanted to follow up here. Today we have a question that came in. What is the best way to use expiration dates? When should I use them? How long should they last? So when should they, run out? And make sense of this for me. So we've really obviously worked with so many different kinds of companies over the last decade plus, and had so many different expiration dates on so many different marketing pieces and web marketing stuff. And what we found is really there's only a few questions that you need to ask yourself to answer this question well. So first, what kind of business do you have? And usually that has a good indication of what kind of expirations you should use. If you have a business where people make a lot of impulse buys, so it's food, it's hair or other personal type services, things like that, usually expiration dates are fantastic. If it's remodeling, we've used something like that. We've used expiration dates, and what we consistently find is people completely ignore the expiration date. So it's not an impulse buy. People might hold on to it for 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, a year. It just depends when they're ready to purchase. So your communication might have been perfectly effective, and so they kept the peace, but there was no impulse to buy, and so the expiration date had really no effect on the response. Often your service might run somewhere in the middle. So if you're a tree company or something like that, using an expiration date that's 60, 90, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but somewhere in the middle basically of where you might think. The other thing what we found is people often overestimate the presence of their marketing, and so they think, oh, someone gets it and they're looking at it, and I want the expiration date to be within a week. Usually that's a big mistake. That piece may end up in their purse, it might end up on their fridge, on their bulletin board, in their car, on the visor. 2 to 4 weeks may seem like nothing to them. So usually my experience is it's pretty rare. Pizza is probably one of the only areas where we ever think about things in terms of 2, 3, 4 weeks. Otherwise, I would look at going out more than a month in almost every case, even if you have a fairly impulse buy like hair or something like that. So, a lot of times people don't think through what they're really trying to accomplish with their call to action. Your expiration date should fit into whatever you're trying to accomplish with your call to action. So think about what the next step you want them to take is. Think about how an expiration date fits into that. Think about their buying patterns and how that fits into it. If they only get their haircut, for instance, once every 10, 12 weeks, making an expiration date that's only 4 weeks out, does that make sense? So think through all those different things. Purchase habits, what your call to action is trying to produce, the kind of product or service you sell. Usually if we think through all that, we'll hit the nail right on the head with the expiration dates, and it's really not that hard. So hopefully that helped.